Welcome to Motivational Humanity. You are not alone. You've spent your whole life making sure everyone around you was okay. And the price you paid for that was staying silent about the one person who wasn't. You notice things other people walk right past. The slight crack in someone's voice when they say, "I'm fine." The sadness behind a friend's laughter at a dinner table. The way the room shifts when someone is hurting, even before a single word is spoken. You carry the weight of feelings. Yours, theirs, and sometimes the feelings of complete strangers. And somehow, nobody ever notices how heavy that gets. You have been told you are too sensitive, too emotional, too much. But what if the truth is the complete opposite? What if the way you feel everything, so deeply, so completely, isn't your weakness? What if it is the most extraordinary thing about you, and no one ever told you that? Today, we are going to sit with that together because you deserve to finally understand yourself, not through criticism, not through apology, but through truth. Stay with me, because what I'm about to share with you might be the first time in your life someone has fully, completely described what it feels like to be you. Picture this. You're at a family gathering, maybe a birthday dinner. Your sister's husband is laughing too loudly, refilling everyone's glasses, making joke after joke. "Never been better," he declares, grinning from ear to ear. Everyone else at the table relaxes. They clink their glasses and move on. But you go quiet. Something underneath all that laughter is pulling at you. You can't quite name it yet, but you feel it, like a note played slightly off key in an otherwise cheerful song. You notice that his smile disappears the moment he looks down at his plate. You catch the tiny, almost invisible tightening around his eyes. You hear him exhale just a little too deeply when the conversation moves on without him. Nobody else noticed, but you did. Here's the science behind why. Back in 1971, psychologist Albert Mehrabian published a groundbreaking study that revealed something most people still find hard to believe. The actual words we speak, the "I'm fine" and "everything's great," account for only 7% of emotional communication. 38% comes through in the tone of voice, and a full 55% is carried in body language. You have always been reading the full picture. While the world hears the 7%, you are absorbing all 93%. You pick up on micro-expressions, tiny flickers of real emotion that cross a person's face in less than a fraction of a second. Your nervous system processes these signals the way others process loud, obvious alarms. This is a gift, but it is also a burden that most people will never fully understand, because you always know when someone is hurting. You always know when something is wrong beneath the surface. But how often does anyone look closely enough to see what is hiding behind your smile? That loneliness, the loneliness of being the one who always sees, is something we need to talk about, and we will. But first, there is something even more physical happening inside you, something happening in your body, not just your mind. And that is what we must understand next. Have you ever been in the same room as someone who is angry, and before they said a single word, your chest was already tight? Have you ever watched a documentary about someone suffering on the other side of the world and spent the rest of the day unable to shake the sadness? This is not imagination. This is not weakness. Science calls it emotional contagion, and it lives in the mirror neuron system inside your brain. In women who feel deeply, this system operates at extraordinary sensitivity. Your brain doesn't just register that another person is in pain. It actually begins to simulate that pain inside your own body. When someone you love is hurting, your brain lights up in the same pain processing areas as if you are the one who is hurting. You don't just empathize with your thoughts. You empathize with your nervous system, your chest, your stomach, your hands. In ancient times, this was considered sacred. Women like you were the healers, the wisdom keepers, the ones the community turned to when something felt wrong. Before anyone else could name what it was. You sensed the unease before it became a crisis. You were trusted with the emotional survival of the people you loved. But in today's world, where social media delivers an endless stream of heartbreak, tragedy, and outrage directly into your hands, this gift can quietly destroy you. You scroll through your phone for 10 minutes and absorb the grief of dozens of strangers. You close the app feeling heavier than when you opened it, and you're not sure why. You have become an emotional sponge. And no one ever taught you how to wring yourself out. We will talk about how to do that. But there is something else happening, something beyond emotions, that is quietly exhausting you every single day. And you may have never connected the two. Stay with me. It is not just feelings that overwhelm you. It's the lights that seem too bright in certain stores. The background noise in a busy restaurant that makes it hard to concentrate on the conversation in front of you. The strong perfume of a stranger that lingers long after they've walked away. While most people have a mental filter that quietly sorts sensory information, labeling it as background noise and letting it fade, yours processes everything at nearly equal volume. The coworker's keyboard clicking, the hum of the refrigerator, the neighbor's television murmuring through the wall at night, the tag scratching at the back of your shirt. All of it arrives at full intensity, all at once. This is why crowds feel draining rather than energizing. This is why you dread open-plan offices, loud restaurants, and family gatherings in small rooms. Not because you don't love people, but because the physical world itself is simply louder for you. And when you add violent or disturbing images into that equation, even fictional ones on a TV screen, your body doesn't separate movie from real threat. Your stress hormones spike, your stomach tightens, you look away, not because you are fragile, but because your nervous system is fiercely, protectively alive. The hardest part isn't just the noise. It's what happens to you after a day full of it. And that is what we must understand next. Think about the last time you came home after a long, full day. A day of conversations, decisions, other people's needs, other people's emotions. And all you wanted was to close the door, sit in the quiet, and just breathe. Not because you don't love your family, not because you are antisocial or cold, but because you were running on empty, and the only thing that could refuel you was stillness. Your partner may have asked, "Why are you so quiet? What's wrong?" And you didn't have the words to explain that nothing was wrong. Exactly. You were simply depleted in a way that went far deeper than tired. This is your nervous system doing something essential. After a day of absorbing emotions, reading rooms, processing sensory information, and carrying the weight of others' unspoken pain, your body needs time to shed all of that, to exhale the cortisol, the stress hormone that builds up layer by layer throughout the day. Without that quiet, you begin to unravel. You become irritable at the people you love most. You feel hollow. You snap at the small things because the big things have been piling up unseen for hours. Solitude is not selfishness for you. It is survival. And yet, how many years have you spent feeling guilty for needing it? That guilt and something else that keeps you trapped will make complete sense by the time we reach Truth 8. But first, there is a specific kind of pressure that shuts you down in a way others simply don't understand. You have never been someone who thrives when rushed. And if you have ever felt ashamed about that, if you have ever sat in a meeting watching everyone else seem to juggle 10 things at once while your mind locked up completely, I want you to hear this. There is nothing broken about you. Your brain processes information the way a master craftsperson works, slowly, intentionally, turning every piece over and over until it fully understands what it is holding. Every task gets cross-referenced with past memories, checked against future possibilities, examined from every angle. The work you produce, when given the space to do it properly, is often extraordinary, thoughtful, complete, full of nuance that others miss entirely. But the moment a ticking clock appears, the moment someone says, "I need this in an hour," or "Can you handle 3 things at once?" that deep, beautiful process collapses. The pressure floods your system and your mind goes silent in the worst possible way. This is not a character flaw. It is simply the cost of depth. And the world has not always been kind about honoring that cost. But here's what I also know. The world's most meaningful creations, the ones that last, the ones that move people to tears, the ones that change things, almost always came from someone who refused to be rushed. Someone like you. You may not remember what you had for breakfast last Tuesday, but you remember, with painful clarity, the look on your mother's face the day you disappointed her. You remember the exact words a friend said to you years ago that stung so deeply you never quite forgot them. Psychology calls this rumination, the tendency to replay emotional memories as if they are happening right now. And here's why it feels so real when you revisit them. Because your brain doesn't store painful memories as simple data files. It stores them as full body experiences, complete with the tightness in your chest, the heat behind your eyes, the exact feeling of that moment. When you remember, you don't just recall, you relive. From an evolutionary standpoint, this was once a profound survival skill. Women who remembered not just where the danger was, but how it felt to encounter it, kept their families safe. They sensed the storm coming before the clouds gathered. They remembered the warning signs others had already forgotten. But in a life without predators to watch for, we often turn that incredible memory inward. We replay our own mistakes. We rewind conversations and look for everything we should have said differently. We carry embarrassments from decades ago as though they happened this morning. We become, as one beautiful phrase puts it, prisoners of our own extraordinary memory. The hardest part isn't just remembering. It's what you do when the memory involves another person's anger or disappointment directed at you. And that is what we must understand next. You are one of the most peaceful people anyone will ever meet. Not because you are passive, not because you don't have opinions or fire inside you, but because conflict, real conflict, raised voices, cold silences, harsh words, doesn't just register as an uncomfortable social moment for you. It registers as a threat, a physical, cellular threat. The part of your brain called the amygdala, your body's fear alarm, responds to social disharmony in much the same way it responds to physical danger. When someone raises their voice at you or gives you a cold, cutting reply, your body floods with stress hormones. Your mind goes blank. The words you had a moment ago disappear completely. This is called the freeze response. And for deep-feeling women, it often slides into what psychologists call the fawn response, the urgent need to smooth things over, apologize, take the blame, do whatever it takes to restore peace in the room. Even when you did nothing wrong, you would rather swallow the hurt silently, carry the injustice quietly, than experience another moment of that overwhelming discomfort. So you say sorry when you shouldn't have to. You agree when you disagree. You shrink. And then later, alone in the quiet, you replay it all and wonder why you didn't stand your ground. It wasn't weakness. It was your nervous system doing the only thing it knew how to do to survive that moment. But survival and healing are not the same thing. And we are working toward healing, especially in Truth 8, where something very important will click into place for you. It's a Sunday afternoon. You are exhausted in your bones. You have given everything to everyone this week, at work, at home, in every relationship that calls your name. And then the message arrives. A friend needs a favor. A family member needs help. A coworker needs you to step in. Every logical part of you knows the answer should be no. You know it. Your body knows it. Your tiredness knows it. And yet your fingers type yes before your heart even finishes the debate. Why? Because neuroscience has shown us something remarkable and heartbreaking. The human brain processes social rejection in the same neural regions as physical pain. For women who feel deeply, picturing someone's disappointment, their sigh, their hurt expression, their quiet withdrawal creates a real bodily ache inside you. Saying yes to others is not just kindness. For you, it has often been a painkiller, a way to protect yourself from the unbearable feeling of believing you let someone down. You have given from an empty cup so many times because the alternative, the guilt of saying no, felt worse than the exhaustion of saying yes. And somewhere along the way, your needs became the last thing on the list. I want you to hear this gently, but clearly. Saying no is not selfish. It is an act of deep self-respect. And learning to do it is one of the most loving things you will ever do for yourself and ultimately for the people you care for. The beautiful part, the part that makes all of this worth understanding, is coming next. Because sensitivity is not only a world of pain, it is also a world of breathtaking wonder. And most people never get to live there. Now we come to the part I have been waiting to share with you. Because we have walked through the harder rooms, the exhaustion, the overwhelm, the silence, the guilt. And I want you to see what lives on the other side of all of that. If your nervous system amplifies pain, it also amplifies joy. While most people glance at a sunset and think, that's pretty, you stop walking entirely. You feel it. a warmth in your chest, a quieting of the noise in your mind, a fullness that is almost too large to hold. When a piece of music catches you off guard, the right melody at the right moment, you feel it run down your spine like a wave. That is called a musical frisson, your body's physical response to profound beauty. When you read a line in a book that perfectly captures something you have felt your whole life but never had words for, you have to stop and breathe. A morning cup of tea in a quiet house, the smell of rain on warm pavement, the sound of your grandchild laughing, a garden coming back to life in early spring. These things fill you in a way that other people simply cannot access. They experience the world in standard definition. You experience it in something so vivid and layered and alive that there are no words sufficient for it. This is called vantage sensitivity. And it is the other side of the same coin that makes your emotional life so intense. You don't just witness beauty, you translate it into kindness, into creativity, into the way you make other people feel seen and known and less alone. That is an extraordinary thing to carry in this world. And it brings us to the final truth, the one that ties everything together. Psychologist Jay Belsky offered a metaphor that I want you to hold close. Most people, he said, are dandelions. They are resilient. They can grow in cracks in the pavement, weather droughts, bend in the wind, and come back upright. They survive almost anywhere, and the world is built for them. But there is another kind of person, rarer, more fragile in some conditions, more breathtaking in others. Orchids. An orchid placed in harsh conditions, in environments of pressure, criticism, emotional coldness, or chaos, will wilt faster than almost any other flower. This is why women who feel deeply are more vulnerable to burnout, anxiety, and the quiet erosion of self that comes from decades of living in environments not designed for them. But place that same orchid in the right conditions, with enough warmth, enough space, enough understanding, and it blooms into something that no dandelion ever could. Research consistently shows that highly sensitive people, when they find environments that honor their depth, often achieve remarkable things, not in spite of their sensitivity, because of it, in leadership, in creativity, in emotional intelligence that transforms the people and places around them. In the ancient world, every community needed its orchids. They were the ones who noticed the signs others missed, the shift in the weather, the tension brewing before it became conflict, the small cry for help that no one else heard. The world still needs you. It needs you more than it knows how to say. We have just walked through 10 truths about the kind of woman who feels everything deeply. And I hope something in you has shifted, even just slightly, from what is wrong with me to this is who I actually am. Because there is nothing wrong with you. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are a high-powered instrument in a world that has been set to a lower frequency. And for too long, you have been trying to tune yourself down to match it. The way forward is not to become less sensitive. The way forward is to finally learn how to honor the sensitivity you carry. 3 things, just 3. First, protect your energy like it is sacred, because it is. You are not a bottomless well. You are allowed to close the gate. You are allowed to say not today. You are allowed to let the phone go to voicemail. Second, stop apologizing for needing quiet. Solitude is not abandonment. It is not coldness. It is how you come back to yourself. Honor it without guilt. Third, return to beauty. Whatever fills you. A walk outside, a piece of music, a book, a garden, a meaningful conversation. Treat that as medicine. Because for you, it is. Living deeply, feeling everything, holding the weight of a world that doesn't always see you. It is one of the loneliest and one of the most extraordinary experiences a person can have. But you are not alone in it. Around 15 to 20% of the world's population shares this wiring. We are a quiet, tender, fierce community. Watching, feeling, caring, noticing on behalf of everyone else. You see what others walk past. You feel what others never touch. You hold space for a kind of human experience that would simply go unseen if you weren't here. That is not a burden. That is a calling. I want to ask you something before you go. Of these 10 truths we explored together today, which one made you exhale? Which one finally said, in words, Something you have carried quietly for years? Share it in the comments below. I read every single one. And in this space, you will never be told you are too much. If this video felt like coming home, please subscribe. Because every week, we come back to this space together to understand ourselves a little more deeply, to heal a little more honestly, and to remember that feeling everything is not a flaw. It is a form of grace. I'll see you in the next one. Take good care of yourself. You deserve it.